Okay, evening all. This is how to do the questions on the Unit 4 Pure Maths test. One or two of you have expressed an interest in this. So I'm going to set you off on these. I won't do all of them because often the working is fairly straightforward once you know what it is that you're doing. So we'll start at a good place. We'll start at number 1. And it asks me to work out, that's the diagram they give you, it asks you to work out what x is as an exact value, and it tells you that x is 9 plus root 6 over 20. So let's assume no calculator allowed here. This is part A. We're working out a value for x. Well, we've got a non-right angled triangle here. Let's write in anything else we can write in. If that's 120 and that's 15, so that's 135. So this one up here has to be 45 degrees. Looking at this, it looks like we've got two sides. We've got all three angles. We need to use both those two sides, presumably. So I'm going to use the sine rule. I'm not going to use cosine rule because I don't know this side. I don't want to find this side. I'm not interested in this side. The cosine rule uses all three sides. So two sides here. I'm going to use the cosine rule. So let's start with 8x minus 3 over sine 120. And that's equal to 4x minus 1 over sine 45. The first step is to work out what sine 120 and sine 45 are. So 8x minus 3, 4x minus 1. If we do that in surd form rather than as a decimal, sine 120, that's going to be the same as sine 60. And sine of 60 is root 3 over 2. Sine of 45 is 1 over root 2. So let's rearrange all this. Divide by 2 here, so double the top. So I've got 16x minus 6 over root 3 equals, divide by 1 over root 2, so multiply by root 2. So this is going to be 4 root 2x minus root 2. Multiply everything by this square root of 3, so I've got 16x minus 6 equals 4 times, well, root 2 times root 3 is root 6 times x minus root 3 times root 2 is root 6. Bring the x's over, take the 6 over, factorise these two things, and then you'll get x equals something. So I'm going to try and do all that in one go. This could be interesting. So 16 minus 4 root 6x equals minus root 6 plus 6. So x is minus root 6 plus 6 over 16 minus 4 root 6. Multiply top and bottom by 16 plus 4 root 6. You rationalise the denominator and hopefully then you'll get the answer they're looking for. That was part A. Part B is to find the exact area, given the answer to 2 decimal places. Well, the area of a triangle is half AB sine C. This angle here has to be between those two sides. Well, these are the two sides that I've got. There's the angle, so the area of the triangle is going to be half times A, which is 4x minus 1, so it's 4 times this minus 1, times B, which is 8 times that minus 3, times the sine of 15. And because we're doing this decimal places, you can use your calculator for that. And that's just working out, that's working through. All right, number 2. They give you a diagram, they also give you information. The information they give you that's not on the diagram is this. Boat Q is 7 kilometers from boat P on a bearing of 327. So Q is on a bearing from P of 327. So this angle here is 327. and boat R is 15 kilometers from P on a bearing of 41. So this angle here is 41. Our first thing is to find the distance QR. Well, we've got two of the sides. I want to find the third side. Before I can do that, I need to have an angle to use the cosine rule. So we need the whole of this angle here. I know that's 41. I can work out this bit here because it's 360, take away the 327, which is 33. So I'm going to use the cosine rule. A squared, which is that, equals B squared plus C squared minus 2 times 7 times 15 times cos of, this is 74, and that's just buttons on your calculator. You can do that yourself. Part B, that was part A. Part B is find the three-figure bearing of R from Q. Of R from Q, so what we're looking for is this angle here. To work out this angle, I suspect the best way, where's my ruler, is to work out what this angle here is. Well, this angle is the same as that because it's a Z angle, so that's 33. We then need to work out this angle here, and to work out that angle, I suggest we use the sine rule. So 15 over sine that angle equals 7 over sine of this angle, equals that length, which we just worked out from part A, over sine of this angle here. So this one is just going to be the sine rule. That will give you this angle. To work out this angle, it's 180 degrees, take away these two. So that should be fairly straightforward. Right, question 3. Find all the solutions for x between 0 and 360. So x is between 0 and 360 degrees. The problem we have in this equation is that we've got two different trig functions. We've got cos and we've got sine. So what we want to try and do is get either cos to be sine or sine to be cos, and probably the easiest way to do that is to convert sine squared into 1 minus cos squared. So that's what I'm going to start off doing. 6 times 1 minus cos squared. So it looks to me like we're going to have a quadratic in cos, and I can solve quadratics, and that will then tell us what x is. Okay. 6 times 1, 6 times cos squared x. Move everything onto the left hand side so we have a positive value here. So I've got 6 cos squared x minus 7 cos x, and I've got 8, take away 6 is 2, and that's equal to 0. Right, I'm going to use my calculator to solve that quadratic for me. So coefficient of x squared is 6, coefficient of x is minus 7, the constant is 2, and that will give me one value where cos x equals 2/3, and the other one is when cos x equals a half. So now all I need to do is to work out all the values of x, which give me cos x is 2/3 for x between 0 and 360, and cos x is a half between 0 and 360. Some of you will want to do a quick cast diagram. So let's work out the primary value. I'm in degrees, so shift cos 2 divided by 3 is, so x is 48.2, that's my primary value for that one, and we should be able to work out this one ourselves. That's going to be 60 degrees. So those are our primary values. Let's do 48.2, but it doesn't actually matter, it's going to be a similar place. If that's 48, C-A-S-T, then the other value will be down here because cos is positive and we're dealing with cos, so it's down here. If that's 48.2, then if it's between 0 and 360, actually that will be 360, take away 48.2, which is going to be 311.8. And if x is 60, similar sort of thing. One value is 60, the other value is down here, so 360 less 60 is 300.